Hi, how are you? I hope you found me. It's been a busy week here. You will have known most likely that I have been at an art fair all last weekend. So I'm just really picking myself up after that and getting back into the week. But I have a challenge for you today. And my challenge to you is to have an affair. Yes, you heard me right. That is this week's challenge, courtesy of Elizabeth Gilbert from Big Magic. And those of you who know me, I've just managed to pour my tea all over the book, which is not a good thing. Those of you who know me know I am a big fan of this book, and it's a really, really good read for you to have. Someone was saying to me the other day that they resisted reading it. Hi Tanya, it's lovely to have you back again. I know you've been busy working. Yeah, somebody was saying to me they thought maybe it would be a bit, psychobabble and stuff, but it's a really easy read and well worth reading. So I'm going to read you a chapter, a very short chapter that she has called Having an Affair, or Have an Affair. And then I'm going to give you a challenge based on this. So hold on to your seat there and I will read this to you and we'll take it from there. So, have an affair. Why do people persist in creating? Even when it's difficult and inconvenient and often financially unrewarding. They persist because they are in love. They persist because they are hot for their vocation. Let me explain what I mean by hot. You know how many people have extramarital affairs? They always seem to manage to find time to see each other in order to have wild, transgressive sex. It doesn't seem to matter if those people have full-time jobs and families at home to support. They still somehow manage to find the time to sneak off and find their lover. No matter what the difficulties, no matter what the risks or the costs, or even if they only get 15 minutes together in a stairwell, they will take that time. They will make out with each other like crazy. If anything, the fact that they have only 15 minutes together seems to make it even all the hotter. When people have an affair, they don't mind losing sleep or missing meals. They will make whatever sacrifices they have to make. They will blast through any obstacles in order to be alone with the object of their devotion and obsession, because it matters to them. Let yourself fall in love with creativity. Just like that, and see what happens. Stop treating your creativity like it's a tired, old, unhappy marriage, the grind, the drag, and start regarding it with fresh eyes, the fresh eyes of a passionate lover. Even if you only had 15 minutes together in a stairwell and make out with your art. You can get a lot of making out done in 15 minutes, as any furtive teenager will tell you. Sneak off and have an affair with your most creative self. Lie to everyone where you're actually going for your lunch break. Pretend you're traveling on a business trip and then secretly you may be retreating in order to paint, or to write poetry, or to draw up plans for your future organic mushroom farm. Conceal it from family and friends, wherever it is that you are up to. Slip away from everyone else at the party and go off to dance alone with your ideas in the dark. Wake yourself up in the middle of the night in order to be alone with your inspiration while nobody is watching. You don't need that sleep right now. You can give it up. What else would you be willing to give up in order to be alone with your beloved? Don't think of all the burdensome, of it at all as burdensome. Think of it as sexy. So that is what Elizabeth Gilbert has to say about having an affair. Yes, your alizarin crimson is blushing, Eileen. Well, that's just fantastic, because that is the idea. So I did have a challenge cheat sheet for you, which I've now covered in tea. So I shall read out for you rather than showing, because it's all wet here, but none the matter. So how to have an affair. So the idea is that, who was saying, and I just was talking to her there about her mojo leaving and just feeling uninspired. It's a two-way street. If we treat our creativity like a tired old mumsy relationship where all the passion has left, then our creativity, our inspiration is gonna, be the same. It's gonna be lackluster. So what I want to do is I want to challenge you to take up this idea of having an affair with your creativity. So I want you to opt in, tell us, and you needn't tell anybody else. You can keep this a dirty little secret from everyone else in your life if you want to, or just tell your best friend the juicy details, or maybe you'll tell your partner because your partner is your best friend, or your husband or whoever. But I want, for those of us who are going to do it, I'm going to do it too, we're going to take this challenge to have an affair with our creativity. So what I want you to do is I want you to choose the time that you're going to have your affair. So is that going to be right now? Are you going to start that today? Are you going to start it next week or at the first of the month? So choose an actual time and tell me in the group when you're going to do this. Choose who you're going to tell. So you might decide to keep the absolute naughty specialness of this, that you're only going to tell us in the group, okay? Nobody else in your life. Or maybe, as I said, you're going to tell your partner or your best friend or your mum or somebody, but tell me who it is you are going to let into the secret of this affair. Then plan what you're going to do. So what is your affair going to look like? Where are you going to sneak away to? What are you going to do when you sneak this time away? And in this cheat sheet, I have some ideas of what you might do, but there are only a few ideas. There's, lots of things that you might think you might like to do. Marlena, you were saying you think you might go down to the dunes by the beach and have that affair. That sounds lovely. It sounds lonely and romantic with the wind blowing in your hair. Well, it would be here at the moment. You might get very wet, but that's okay. Here's some ideas that I have for you. So you could, a bit like Marlena said there, you could get up early and you could go for a walk in the woods when everybody else is still asleep. Elaine, your cover is blown. Your husband is listening to this. That's okay. That's okay as long as he can keep a secret. Meet up with a fellow creative and talk about ideas and art. Go find somebody that you can wax lyrical with. It's not somebody that you're going to talk about next week's list of things that you have to do. Susan, hiya, how are you? Lovely to see you too. Enjoy the RDS, great, hugs from Germany. So have you got somebody that you could meet for a coffee someday, somewhere nice, that you could just squirrel away half an hour even. But like I said, not somebody that you can talk about the troubles in your life. Somebody who you would talk about things that get you excited creatively. Things that will energize you, that, you nearly would be not admit to yourself otherwise. Like, who can you do that? Maybe you have somebody in your life. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's a stranger. So that's on my list as well. Talk to a stranger and listen to their stories. I find when I talk to strangers on buses, on airplanes, that what falls out of my mouth it's like as if I'm, they're hearing it for the first time. So in a way, you're hearing it for the first time as well. So when you talk to a stranger, it has that extra quality. Now do be safe. Do be safe. But, maybe, talking to strangers is just the thing that you need. Sorry, get rid of that off screen. Another is to order a new book and carve out 20 minutes a day to read that book, because reading sometimes is another world and we can enter into that world. Plan a gig, go to listen to some music. Is there somewhere you can go this week or this month? No later, not Christmas now. We're not talking about putting this off. Affairs don't wait. Affairs throw caution to the wind. And within the context of what we're doing here, having an affair with your creativity. What could you do this week, this month? So maybe you go to listen to some music. Maybe there's some theatre that you can go to. Maybe you'll go listen to an artist talk. Not something you should go to that would be good for you as an artist that you kind of feel you should do. Something that just sets you alight, you know, that you've been kind of waiting for an excuse to do, you know, just for the hell of it, just for the fun of it, just because it makes you feel good. Some other ideas: wear an outfit that you wouldn't ordinarily wear. Most women spend 80% of their budget for clothes on clothes that they wear 20% of the time. They buy them for occasions. They buy them because it's a special night out. Go find that thing and put it on, you know. Find an excuse to wear it if you don't want to wear it in the house. You know, go to something and dress up. Wear a colour you never usually do. Maybe paint this week. If you're painting regularly, maybe paint this week in a media that you never do, you know, ordinarily. That maybe you paint in oils all the time like me. Well, this week, maybe paint in acrylics or use some pastels or pencils, you know. So lots of ideas there for you. So the next thing to do is to choose when you will do it. So if you're talking about you're going to do it this week or you're going to do it next month, well, when are you actually going to do it? So if you're going to a gig, it's going to be next Thursday night at 8 p.m. If it's, I want to plan to go to a gallery, well, when are you going to do that? Are you going to sneak away from work during lunchtime to do that? Will you, like I said, get up a little bit early in the morning? So when and what are you going to do? And then the final thing is just go do it, you know? Just do it. There'll be 100 million different reasons why you can't do this stuff. You know, you shouldn't. You've got other responsibilities. Life is too busy. You know, if you were having an affair, you'd be sneaking it out to do it. And all those things would go to pot. So for this week, for this month, I want you to do the same. You know, obviously within reason. But, you know, you make an excuse. Get out of something that you should really be doing if you're being very good, and go for it and just do it. So let me have a quick look here. Eileen, you were saying, yeah, come on quickly. You were saying that half your wardrobe still has labels on. Really, what are you waiting for? I mean, when is the day going to be that you're going to wear these clothes? So you have a lovely affair with shops, Monsoon, and I could definitely have an affair. Listen, find something this week where you can wear some of that really lovely clothes that you have in your wardrobe, and, you know, just go for it. So what I want you to do is, there's a link below me here and you can click on that to get the cheat sheet. There's my daughter all dressed up and ready to go out in her finery. I don't see why we shouldn't either. So the next thing is that yeah, just tell me what you're going to do and put it into the group. We promise, oath, dib, 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 that we will not tell anybody what you're doing. Your secret will be safe with me. And I will be on through the week. I have a podcast interview that I did for a podcaster in New York that I will be putting up for you in a day or two. So that will be coming out on the email as well. You can get your cheat bit sheet by your challenge sheet by clicking on the link below at the side above, depending on which device you're looking at. And I am dying to know what it is that you are going to be doing for your affair and how it's going to go. Listen, have a good week, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.